Greetings, fellow heathens. It is I,
Count Jacula.
and this is the start of a very special video. You see, over the last few years, the show has undergone massive transformations, but none of those individual parts has ever really truly had a cohesion to it. And so I thought it was about time that I tried to bring all the separate parts of what has been the Count Jacula show into something a bit more focused. I've considered doing a video like this for some time, one where I open up about my personal beliefs and thoughts. And while I've done this sort of thing before, I haven't really done so earnestly. And that's because, quite honestly, like most people, I'm afraid of ridicule. But seeing as how I've already opened up a bit about my personal beliefs on the Satanic Sunday streams, which you are all welcome to join, by the way, every Sunday evening starting at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I think it's time that I actually did this in a way that makes it a bit more real. So let's start by answering a question I've gotten more than a few times. Are you really a Satanist? Well, the short answer is yes. I'm a member of the Satanic Temple, which, along with the slightly more infamous Church of Satan, is one of the two major branches of American Satanism. And yes, there are actually two major branches. Satanism is like any other religious club. It has disagreements, rivalries, and schisms. And the largest division is between the Church of Satan, which was created by Anton LaVey back in the 60s, and the Satanic Temple, which was created in 2012. Which is a very old and venerable organization that was certainly not a satirical protest by a Harvard neuroscience student that got way out of hand. All right, look, if your mind fills with visions, satanic rituals led by Anton LaVey and involving Hollywood stars like Jane Mansfield, Sammy Davis Jr., and Marilyn Manson, then you're thinking of the Church of Satan. But if instead your mind conjures up images of a statue of Satan placed in front of the Oklahoma State Capitol next to the Ten Commandments, that's the Satanic Temple. And that's the one I belong to. Hey, wait a minute. Big titty movie stars? Rockers? Magic rituals? Maybe I'm backing the wrong satanic horse after all. You know what? I should find some satanic female porn stars and see where they fall on this. If they're all Church of Satan instead of the Satanic Temple, I'm switching. Because you can't spell sex without Satanism. Well, actually, yeah, you kind of can, but... fuck you, it sounded good in my head. So now that I've explained that yes, in fact, I am a Satanist, the next question I usually get is, do you really believe
In the devil.
Well, the long answer is, I do not believe in God or the devil, or even heaven and hell the way most people define it. When most people think of the devil, they think of an ultimate force of evil. But that's not how I see Satan. In fact, I don't even really worship Satan. I see Satan as more of a literary and mythological figure. There are only a few dozen passages in the Bible itself which involve devils, and even fewer that specifically call out one named Satan. Of these, only about 7 involve him directly. The others are just people telling you about him. And there are only 2 instances where a figure in the Bible specifically named Satan appears. The first appearance is in the book of Job, when he tells God that the only reason Job loves him so much is because God has blessed him so much. And the other is when he appears to tempt Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. Both times he presents a moral challenge. First to God, and by proxy to Job, then to Jesus Christ. There are a couple of other passages attributed to Satan, but in those, he's never explicitly named. It's just a random, disembodied voice. It's only the interpretation of theologians that say it's Satan. And even here, he's presenting a challenge to someone who considers themselves morally superior, usually a Hebrew king. In many ways, the Satan of the Bible is basically an angry YouTube atheist, questioning all ideologies and forcing them to confront their own inconsistencies and hypocrisy. In the modern world, Satan would absolutely challenge MRA and feminist both, poke holes in the arguments of those on the alt-right and those of Antifa with equal conviction, and no amount of red pills or wokeness would spare you. Satan serves to remind even God that his moral superiority is a sham, and that true moral superiority comes from humility. It is this aspect of Satan, as the challenger of all moral authority, even the supposed highest moral authority, that I admire, respect, and seek to emulate.
That's the long answer to the question, do I believe in the devil?
The short answer is,
hell yes.
Church of Satan. The Church of Satan. The Church of Satan.